MULATSCHAG.
Where are you at?
I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah.
And you're just out there for a walk, or is this just in your garden?
No, yeah, this is a park behind me. So I'm just out here having a cigar, going for a walk.
Well, yeah, damn good weather for this time of the year, right? It's pretty warm today in Salt Lake City.
It really is. Usually there's a ton of snow. But today it's like 55 out here. It's nice. You can go walk around, the sun's out. It's kind of strange for February, but we got like a either tomorrow or the next day a big storm's coming. So this is like the warm before the storm, you know.
How about you and skiing? Because, you know, there are a lot of skiing areas in Utah.
No, I don't do much skiing or snowboarding and stuff like that. I do like to go up to the mountains, and I like to go visit Park City. Park City's like 30 minutes from here. And there's a lot of good skiing, but I just don't, the older I get, the more I don't really care for the snow that much.
You also have new music out. You got John Fogarty for the record. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish I did.
Tell us about the record, because it's strange times even to record a record. You know, you can't drive to another town for a month or so.
Yeah, the thing is, so all three of my albums that I've done have been with Jim. And Jim has done like a lot of bigger names than me, like Killswitch Engage and All the Remains, like bands that I really love, which is why I contacted Jim in the first place, because I love how those albums sound. Like one of my favorite metal albums of all time is For We Are Many, and that's the All the Remains album, and Jim did that album. And so I was like, well, if I love this album so much, I should try and have the guy who did it do my stuff and see if I can like get that level of quality, with like what I do. And so Jim lives out in Massachusetts and I live in Utah. So all three of the albums, we've kind of tracked everything here, and then we send it to him, and he does all the mixing and mastering, and he throws in his ideas, and he'll send it back to me, and he's like, what if we move these things around, and what if we do this? And so it just has worked out really well. And so with this new album, it didn't really change what we do, because we're not going into a big time studio and everybody sitting around and writing things together. We kind of go in and we have some good ideas for vocals or good ideas for guitars, and then we kind of build out from there. And my guitarist can track stuff, and then I can send it to Jim, etc. We can kind of do things separated, and it still works out well.
Tell us a bit about your background, growing up with brothers. You're the youngest of the three, right?
Yeah, I am the youngest. Adam's older than me, and then John is older than Adam. But I have 5 brothers and 5 sisters. So I have 2 brothers that are younger than me.
Not all of them are playing an instrument, right?
No, just us 3. We go and we tour together, and we do this project together. And then Adam and John, they have another project called Poonhammer, which is the greatest name ever.
In high school, you were playing alto sax. Was it an instrument you picked?
Actually, my mom picked it. In 5th grade, she had talked me into doing a instrument, and we went to the music store, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And she was like, well, the saxophone's my favorite. And I said, okay, I'll try the saxophone. And then I just kind of stuck with it. But it was good because it taught me classical music, like how to be, like I played in an orchestra, and we did, orchestra shows and things like that. I learned how to read sheet music and how music was put together, the different sounds and things. And so at that age, I wasn't really I was able to get into it, but not really appreciate it the way that I appreciate music now. It's just kind of a different thing, but I don't think that I would be doing what I'm doing now had I not like really got into it at a younger age with an instrument where I could learn the notes and the layering, how you layer different instruments together, things like that. It really moved things along for me.
You've said this whole pandemic really teaches us how good we really have it.
Well, I think that in my perspective, I think that attitude is everything for everybody. If you don't have the right attitude, you're not going to be successful. And so what I was hoping with Patience in the video and the articles that I've been featured in was to kind of give people a perspective or an attitude of counting your blessings. Like, we didn't really know, especially in the music industry, it was pretty easy to book tours, and it was easy to do shows, and it was so much fun, and you go and you meet the people and you hug them, and they're so happy to meet you, and you take pictures, and their kids are there, and like all this stuff. And then in literally like 1 week, it kind of all went away for my industry. And so I kind of just wanted people to remember to appreciate what we have when we have it, because one day it's not going to be there anymore.
Have you always been in Salt Lake City? Are you born and raised there?
Yeah, we all grew up here. I moved out to Phoenix, Arizona for a couple of years, and then we moved back. And that was cool. I like Phoenix. Yeah.
Salt Lake City is not really the rock capital of the world. So when you were growing up, did you see a lot of bands coming through?
Yeah, actually we do. Salt Lake City does really well, especially for like what we call like Buttrock or Hairmetal and stuff like that. And it does really well with country music comes through. They do really well here. And a lot of hip hop, like Tech Nine does really well in Salt Lake and stuff like that. And so there's just really good diversity here that just isn't the image that most people think of when they think of Utah. But a lot of bands do really well here, and we got a whole array of different influences, because I grew up with Tupac and Pantera, and so I got like all sides of everything growing up here. And so it's actually pretty nice. It just, everybody kind of sees Utah and they think of Mormons, and that's, understandable. But there is quite a bit going on here that makes it a lot of fun.
MULATSCHAG.
Beautiful, MULATSCHAG. Hey, this is Jared from Head PE, and you're watching MULATSCHAG. It's really the only TV show you'll ever need.
You were on tour with Jared, Head PE. How do you enjoy being on tour with guys like that, watching them, and what's like the main thing to learn there?
Well, with Jared, the main thing for me is that Jared is just I don't know the right word. I don't know the right word for Jared, but Jared is a guy who just, no matter what kind of music he did, he was going to be successful at it. He's just naturally talented. He's just so naturally talented. If he wanted to do reggae, it would be badass. If he wanted to do just rap, it would be amazing. He's just really good at everything that he does. And regardless of how the industry is or how the industry treats him, everywhere he goes, he has people that love him, and he's just a survivor in the industry. He's always going to be one of those guys that adapts and does well. And even his new album, I just really love it. It's really rock and metal and a little bit in there. And so to see them play every night and to get on stage and play songs with him and to there's been a few times where we've just sat down and talked about all the music industry stuff, and he's given me really good advice. And it's just cool that I have a friendship with somebody that I've looked up to for so long, and has influenced my music so much. And now, you know, if I want to hit him up for some advice, he'll give me his honest advice, and that just means a lot as a musician to have somebody like that give you their personal advice, you know.
You did a song about or for the troops. What's your background on serving for the military, for you and within the family, maybe?
So my both of my grandpas on my mom's side and my dad's side were in World War II. And in Utah, so on the west side of Salt Lake City now is a town called Kearns. And that was actually a big military base in World War II. And that's how that town kind of started. It's on the other side of the valley. And that's where my grandpa was on my mom's side. And so we have family that were in military and family. My grandma's brother was a lifelong firefighter for the Murray Fire Station, and he retired as a firefighter. And so I was always kind of respectful of your elders and respectful of like what they put into the country and stuff. And then when I was in high school, I was in 10th, like I think I was in 10th grade when 9/11 happened. And so we got to school, and on the way there on the radio, the news had came on, and it said that there was a plane that hit the first tower. We got in our first period class, and our teacher was a police officer. And so he just threw on the TV, and we watched live, sitting in class, the second plane hit the second tower. And we were all just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on right now? Nobody knew. And so my senior year, a bunch of my buddies had signed up for the Marines, and they all went out to Afghanistan and Iraq, and they all did tours. And so that just made it mean like a lot more to me to see my friends go out there and do that. I never did anything. I'm not that cool. I'm not cool enough to be a Marine or anything like that, but a lot of my friends did. And so it just meant a lot to me to see like people that I respect go and do that. And so my music was like a way to just kind of pay them a little bit of respect in what I do, you know what I mean?
Now with this pandemic, you know, people are so depressed all across the planet. But
yeah,
how would you argue, we'll look into the future, there will be a brighter future, whatever. What would you tell them to do, you know?
my advice right now, I have a song on this album called Shut the Fucking News Off. And that would be my first advice to everybody, is to disconnect from the news. I have a lot of conservative friends, which I'm conservative, and I have a lot of liberal friends and people that are in the middle and all that. And the simple fact is that the majority of news lies to you. They're selling clicks and they're selling advertisement, and they want viewers. And so all the conservative news and the liberal news, they all do it. They all lie. They all make up shit. They're trying to sell something, you know?
Yeah.
And if you get sucked into that shit, it'll make you depressed, man. It'll make you hate the other side, whoever the other side is. And I see been friends for years and years and years, and then they say that they support Donald Trump, and all of a sudden they're a piece of shit now, you know, and we're gonna hate you because you support, or they support Joe Biden, and so now you're a piece of shit socialist, and you're this and that because you support Joe. And it's just way too much anger going on, and I think that the news is really fueling that. And that would be my advice. Shut the TV off, go outside, hang with your friends, go live your life before it's too late, man. Life is too fleeting to live your whole life fucking angry at people that are just trying to figure it out. Everybody's just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, cut people some slack a little bit, I guess. That's what I would say.
Have you watched Superbowl?
I did. I watched it. Well, I didn't watch the last quarter. I watched the first 3 quarters, and it was fun. I didn't really care who won, so I got to just kind of sit back and enjoy it and not really get into it that much.
For America, with something like Super Bowl, where everybody sits together and the whole country is watching the same program, that helps, does it, in a time like this?
Yeah, I think so. I think anything that brings us together helps people realize how much more we have in common than little differences. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to be friends with people who disagree with you about economics or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we're all trying to be good people, I think. And so I like sports. I really love baseball. I'm a Red Sox fan, and so I love going to sporting events. I love doing all of that stuff, and it's just always good to have something that brings people together. And that's one of the reasons I love concerts, because you could go to a concert and nobody is asking you what your political view is or your religious views or whatever. Everybody's there to just enjoy the fucking music and have a good time. And you can be like high-fiving and hugging somebody you never even met before, and you're singing songs together and stuff. And that's just a really beautiful thing that we need to hold on to and do as much of as you can possible.
MULATSCHAG!